Coming up tonight on Newswatch, early voters head to the polls ahead of the March primary. We'll have details on where you can cast your ballot.
Plus, over the past several years, Illinois continues to see more tornadoes. We'll dig into the reasons why coming up. Emily?
Tomorrow will be a bit warmer with a high of 35 degrees, but windier conditions will cause cold air to rejoin our forecast. I'll have more on how long these windier conditions will last coming up. This is Newswatch, and your Thursday evening's edition starts now.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon. Whatever the occasion, it's an environment for an evening of dining, conversation, and cocktails. Whatever your needs, our staff is ready. Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon, located at the Cross County Mall, Mattoon.
Voting is already underway with some key statewide primary races on the line. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Matthew Posner.
And I'm Ben Whitney. Early voting is being offered starting today for the 2026 general primary election in most Illinois counties. Some of those counties include Coles, Cumberland, Douglas, Moultrie, Edgar, and Clark. Races in this primary election include governor, U.S. Senate, and Congress. Some of the early voting locations are on your screen. In Coles County, those include the county clerk's office in Charleston and First Presbyterian Church in Mattoon. You can also find additional locations through the Illinois State Board of Elections website, then searching on the Information for Voters page.
A new Illinois law is making it easier to recycle your old batteries. Under the Portable and Medium Format Battery Stewardship Act, companies that sell batteries or products with batteries have to help pay for a statewide collection program. Illinois has partnered with the Battery Network to collect and recycle old batteries. You can find a collection site as well as the types of batteries they accept at batterynetwork.org. The law is intended to keep batteries out of the trash, where their chemicals pose safety and environmental hazards. The program has inspired grade school students in Monticello to collect over 1,000 pounds of batteries that would have otherwise ended up in the garbage. The city of Arcola is temporarily suspending late charges on water bills after a postal problem. City officials say despite water bills being sent last week, many residents still haven't received them. They say customers can check their water bill by calling Arcola City Hall. You can also view and pay your water bill online at arcolaillinois.org. The city says late charges will be paused for a few days while the postal system plays catch up.
It's a little bit colder today than what we saw yesterday. High temperatures only reaching the mid-20s and only reaching the 30s in one place in our viewing area today, with a high temperature of 30 degrees over in Taylorville. But here in Charleston, we saw a high temperature of 25 degrees. And because of that, we're still seeing plenty of snow here in the background across Eastern's campus. And we're going to continue to see temperatures drop down as we move overnight tonight, but not by much, only a drop down to a low temperature of 24 degrees overnight tonight under partly cloudy skies. We're going to be seeing winds blowing out of the southwest, keeping that temperature in the 20s for our low. But those winds are going to shift as we move into tomorrow, causing our temperature to drop down as we move throughout the daytime tomorrow, but our high temperature is going to be back in the 30s with a high temperature of 35 degrees. That's the first look at your Skywatch forecast. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Emily. When you think of hazardous weather during winter, you probably think of ice and cold. But this winter, some in Macon County dealt with destruction from intense storms. I spoke with residents about their experiences and set out to find why these storms are part of a larger trend growing across the Midwest. Sorry about that. We appear to be having technical difficulties. We'll come back to that story here in just a little bit.
The Illinois Department of Transportation and Illinois State Police say, although the Super Bowl is on Sunday, Driving under the influence is no game. State police say if you are attending a Super Bowl party this weekend, designate a sober driver ahead of time. Don't let friends and family members drive impaired. Also, be sure to wear your seatbelt. Make sure everyone else does the same. ISP also says for those hosting Super Bowl parties, serve plenty of food and non-alcoholic beverages and keep the phone numbers of local cab companies on hand. Finally, they recommend you stop serving alcohol at the end of the third quarter, just like the stadiums do. Urbana police are warning drivers to protect against thieves. The department says they've seen recent and recurring trends in burglaries to motor vehicles and vehicle thefts. They recommend locking your car and not leaving valuables inside your vehicle. The department is also giving out free steering wheel locks while supplies last.
Thanks, Emily. When you think of hazardous weather during winter, you probably think of ice and cold. But this winter, some in Macon County dealt with destructions from intense storms. I spoke with residents about their experiences and set out to find why these storms are part of a larger trend growing across the Midwest.
We were sitting here in our living room watching the news that power went out, and I heard the roar, and I just knew that that was it.
For Olivia Road and her family, December 28, 2025 is a day that they will remember for a long time.
It was eerie, shocking, and very emotional.
Their home was hit by an EF2 tornado that ripped across nearly 25 miles, damaging areas around Long Creek and Mount Zion, communities to the south of Decatur. Winds during the storm peaked at 120 miles per hour and caused serious damage to multiple homes in the area. National Weather Service warning meteorologist Ed Shimon says the setup that day was favorable for this type of event.
We had an unseasonably warm air mass that day, which in the wintertime is, providing a lot of fuel for potential thunderstorms.
The tornado and severe storms that came through and destroyed this house and damaged a lot of the Mount Zion and Long Creek area is just a small part of a bigger trend taking place across the state. Usually, the state sees only 50 to 60 tornadoes during the average year, but preliminary totals show 146 tornadoes across Illinois in 2025, ranking second in the nation, just behind Texas. Likewise, 2024 saw Illinois finish the year with 142 tornadoes and has topped 100 reported tornadoes the last 3 years.
A study that was done that shows, that the frequency of tornadoes is increasing in the Tennessee Valley, southern Illinois, down towards Mississippi, Alabama, including a good portion of Illinois.
Shimon says this change is mainly being driven by changes in the jet stream, promoting severe storm development further east than in the past, increasing storms across the Midwest. This trend is expected to continue, and as a result, severe storms like these may continue to be seen more regularly across the state. No injuries were reported with the storms on December 28th. December tornadoes in Illinois are rare, but have happened before, including the Taylorville tornado in 2018. Sheriff's offices across Illinois are taking applications for the annual Illinois Sheriff's Association Scholarship. The ISA is awarding more than 100 scholarships statewide, totaling over $58,000 to students wishing to pursue higher education during the 2026 to 2027 academic year. The Coles County Sheriff's Office is awarding a $500 ISA scholarship. Applicants must be permanent Illinois residents and enrolled as a full-time college student. The application includes a written essay, and the deadline to submit an application is March 13th. Applications must be submitted to the local participating sheriff's office. Champaign police say phone scammers are targeting area residents and posing as police officers. They say earlier this week, a Champaign resident received a call from a person pretending to be a Champaign police officer. Authorities say the scammer told the caller about a warrant and demanded immediate payment to avoid arrest. CPD Police Chief Timothy Tyler says they will never call to request money, especially in warrant or court proceedings. He says treat unprompted calls or emails with suspicion and verify the caller's identity before making any payment. You can report suspected scam calls to local law enforcement. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office is bringing back an iconic youth outreach program. The Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program, commonly called DARE, was a staple in schools in the 90s. Now it's back in Douglas County after more than a 25-year absence. Sheriff's deputies recently visited students at Villa Grove School District to talk about the effects of peer pressure, drug use, and violence. They say the program had an immediate impact, and they're looking forward to providing positive role models and educating youth for years to come.
And another iconic tradition is back. Girl Scouts of Central Illinois say they're kicking off the 2026 Girl Scout cookie season tomorrow. Along with old favorites like Thin Mints, Peanut Butter Patties, and Caramel Delights, this year's lineup includes Explore Mores. That's a sandwich cookie inspired by Rocky Road ice cream. Scout leaders say selling cookies funds programming for Scouts and gives girls valuable entrepreneurial skills. Well, just like Girl Scout cookies, there's a lot of variety in our upcoming forecast.
Emily Davis has more on what's ahead.
That's right, temperatures this week range from the mid-20s to possibly the 50s. I'll have more on the warm-up to come coming up.
Roses are red, violets are blue. This Valentine's Day, there's a horror show for you. For fans of Halloween's spooky skeletons and ghastly gargoyles, a Valentine's Day twist. Loveland, Colorado's Haunted Manor invites guests to a late 1800s wedding celebration that may or may not be a love story gone wrong. And for passionate fans of monsters and matrimony, for $175, you can literally get married inside the haunted house. How's that for a fairy tale happy ending, or whatever's happening right there? If your love life is a bit of a horror show, feel free to feed your ex-Valentine to an animal. Symbolically, of course, sickos. The San Antonio Zoo's Cry Me a Cockroach Valentine's fundraiser lets you name a cockroach, rat, or veggie after an ex or not so special someone. The zoo will let a hungry animal chomp down on your lost love namesake, hopefully letting you exorcise some demons with the Tex-Mex, turning your heartache into a tasty treat supporting wildlife conservation. Prices range from $5 to $15 depending on your selection, and apparently that's a discount. The zoo saying we are rolling back pricing to help with your vengeance, giving jilted lovers a chance to get back at their former flame in a healthy and helpful way on the cheap. Doesn't that look delicious? Ugh. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Warmer temperatures are finally on their way, and you can see those warmer temperatures over the Great Plains right now, reaching up into North and South Dakota, eventually making their way into the Midwest as we move forward, but not quite yet, because as we move throughout the daytime today, we saw high temperatures in the mid-20s, the 30s in just one location in Taylorville, but a high temperature of 25 degrees here in Charleston, which has caused snow to still be covering most of the ground here on campus, here in the background, and we're going to see that snow stay in place as we move forward. That's because temperatures are going to be dropping down as we move overnight tonight, but not by much. Temperatures currently around 24 degrees, and that's going to be our low for overnight tonight, a low temperature of 24 degrees overnight tonight. So temperatures won't be dropping much as we move throughout the nighttime, but we are going to be seeing partly cloudy skies as we move throughout the night, and winds blowing out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but those winds will begin to shift as we move into tomorrow, and that's going to cause our temperatures to drop down even further. But before we get to that, we're going to be seeing mostly cloudy skies as we move overnight, eventually clearing up as we move in, or as those clouds move in and out throughout the daytime tomorrow. Starting our day off with partly cloudy skies for our daytime for our Friday. So we're going to be seeing those partly cloudy skies in the morning, but once again, clouds coming and going as we move throughout the daytime. And along with that, we're going to be seeing high temperatures back in the 30s, a high temperature of 35 degrees tomorrow, which is a little bit warmer than what we saw today, but that's not going to last for long, because as we move into the weekend, we're going to see winds blow out of the northwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour and cause our temperatures to drop down. So those winds will be impacting us as we move throughout the daytime tomorrow, gusting out of the northwest up to 35 miles per hour as we move throughout the daytime, blowing cold air into our viewing area and causing our temperature to drop as we move into our weekend. But before we get to that, we're seeing clouds come and go as we move throughout the daytime, mostly cloudy skies for our afternoon, eventually clearing up as we move into the evening hours, leaving us with partly cloudy skies. And those partly cloudy skies are going to continue as we move into the weekend. Like I said, we're going to see temperatures drop down because of those strong northerly winds. A high temperature of 27 degrees on Saturday, eventually starting to warm up as we finish off the weekend, reaching the 30s once again with a high of 33 degrees on Sunday. But then the real warm up is going to begin as we move into next work week. A high temperature of 43 degrees on Monday under mostly clear skies, so it'll be a pretty nice day on Monday compared to what we have been feeling the past few days. And the reason for this is because of our upper level jet stream. You can see here we're under a ridge of warmer air on Saturday, and that ridge is only going to further develop as we move into Sunday, which is going to cause temperatures to continue to warm up as we move throughout the weekend and into next work week. And that warm up is going to make us above average for this time of year. That average is typically in the low 40s for the beginning of February. And as we look forward, we're certainly going to see temperatures above that with a possibility of even getting into the 50s. But before that, we are going to see temperatures drop back into the 20s to start off our weekend on Saturday before starting to warm up again on Sunday with a high of 33, reaching the 40 degrees by Monday with a high temperature of 43 degrees, and then reaching the 50s by Tuesday with a high temperature of 52 degrees. But some rain will move through, which will cause our temperatures to drop back down for Wednesday, but still pretty warm with a high temperature of 41 degrees on Wednesday, dropping down once again on Thursday, though, to a high temperature of 36 degrees.
Thanks for that, Emily. I know I'm looking forward to the warm-up next week. It should also be pretty nice for some of those Super Bowl watch parties Sunday evening.
Absolutely, 100%. I can't wait. I think we all needed to see some warmer weather in this area.
Absolutely.
It has been cold. Thank you, Emily. Coming up tonight in sports, EIU men's and women's basketball hit the road, and both teams are in desperate need of picking up some victories. I'll have more on that in just a bit.
But first, can U of I men's basketball maintain their historic hot streak against another big program from the land of Lincoln? Thanks for watching. Your WEIU Sports Watch Report is coming up next.
Hi, I'm Larry Smith, second-generation EIU Panther and a proud alum of the WEIU program. For nearly 4 decades, I've had the privilege of reporting on some of the biggest stories of my generation, from getting to know so many East Central Illinoisans to a quarter century on the anchor desks at CNN Sports and Turner Sports, covering major events worldwide, championship celebrations, and even presidential inaugurations. It's been a career that has far exceeded even my wildest dreams. One that would not have been possible without WEIU, which finds itself in peril. Recent legislation in Washington took away the program's federal funding. So on their behalf, I'm asking you to consider making a donation. WEIU is one of the best training grounds in the nation for students who have a passion for journalism, broadcasting, radio, TV production, and they're worth your gift. You can find more info at weiu.net. Thank you in advance for your gift.
The hottest team in college basketball right now is none other than the Fighting Illini. Illinois has won 11 consecutive games and will look to make it 12 as Nick Martinelli and the Northwestern Wildcats come to town. Despite tremendous coverage by the Wildcats, Jake Davis hits a tough three-pointer in front of a raucous Illinois student section. And on the other end, Zvonimir Visic absolutely stuffs this basketball like a Thanksgiving turkey for one of the most powerful blocks you'll ever see. U of I goes on a massive run in the first half, burying triple after triple after triple. And for the cherry on top, Zvonimir Visic punches in a powerful putback slam to charge up the crowd, completing a remarkable first half for Illinois. Northwestern never had a chance in the second half as the Illini pick up their 12th straight victory, taking down the Wildcats 84-44. A big test awaits the 20-3 Illini on Saturday as they travel to East Lansing to face Tom Izzo and the 10th-ranked Michigan State Spartans. Staying on the court, Eastern Illinois basketball is back in action tonight as they head south to face Tennessee State. EIU enters this game on a 3-game conference losing streak, which has dropped the Panthers to 8th place in the Ohio Valley Conference. Only the top 8 teams make the OVC tournament field in Evansville in early March. The women's team is currently in action this evening against the Tigers, and at last check, the Panthers are up 33-20. It's been a year to forget for the Panthers. They're 3-20 after 4 consecutive winning seasons in OVC play. The men's contest will tip off after the women's game concludes. Sports Watch will have the full recap of both contests tomorrow night. Down to the high school level, several local teams picked up midweek wins, while others lost in blowout fashion. Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond only holds 5 wins on the season, and they fail to get to 6 as they fall short to conference rival Okaw Valley 61-37. Tuscola also falls short with the Clinton Maroons taking down the Warriors 61-51. Despite the loss, Tuscola is still in the midst of a phenomenal season as the record stands at 20-5. Shelbyville also can't add one to the win column as Warrensburg Latham crushes the Rams 76-45. From the court to the field, the Fighting Illini football team adds a local star to their roster for the upcoming season. Mount Zion wide receiver Jacob Harvey has flipped his commitment from Illinois State to the University of Illinois after talking to head coach Brett Bielema. As a senior, Harvey had 53 catches for 928 yards and 11 touchdowns. During his 4-year prep career, he had 180 catches for over 2,700 yards and 32 touchdowns. The 6'2", 190-pound receiver can officially sign with the Illini next Wednesday, which is the first day of the regular signing period. It's been a chaotic trade deadline across the NBA. We've seen Anthony Davis traded to the Wizards, James Harden traded to the Cavs, the Chicago Bulls completely tear it down, while the Indiana Pacers reload for another run. We start with Chicago, who traded star center Nikola Vucevic to the Celtics, Ayo Dosunmu to the Timberwolves, and Kobe White to the Hornets, but shockingly failed to recoup a first-round pick for any of them. It's been a brutal year for the Pacers without their superstar Tyrese Halliburton, but just over 30 minutes before the deadline expired, they acquired Ivica Zubac from the Clippers for Benedict Mathurin, pairing the elite center with Halliburton and all-star forward Pascal Siakam as they begin looking ahead to next season. Super Bowl 60 is just 3 days away. But first, it's time to crown a new NFL MVP and much more as the NFL honor ceremony takes place tonight. The biggest award that will be handed out tonight is, of course, the Most Valuable Player Award. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is in pole position for his first career MVP at 37 years of age. Also up for grabs are the Coach of the Year, Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Comeback Player of the Year awards. The ceremony begins at 8 on NBC and will be hosted by actor Jon Hamm. Finally tonight, the PGA Tour heads to Phoenix for everyone's favorite pre-Super Bowl sporting tradition, the WM Phoenix Open. And one of the game's bright young superstars is in command after 18 holes. 3-time PGA Tour winner Chris Gotterup, who won the season opener in Hawaii this January, torched TPC Scottsdale on Thursday, carding an 8-under-63 to jump in front by 2. Gotterup has moved all the way up to 16th in the World Golf Rankings and is one of the favorites to pick up a major victory in 2026. Former U.S. Open champion Matt Fitzpatrick carded a 65 to sit alone in second at 6 under. Pearson Coody continues his breakout campaign after another strong opening round. His 5-under-66 puts him in a tie for third, alongside former Stanford standout Michael Thorbjornsen, Danish star Rasmus Højgaard, and Oklahoma State standout Sam Stevens. Finally, it was a shockingly terrible day for world number 1 Scottie Scheffler, who carded a 2-over-par 73, and he's 10 shots off the round 1 lead. That'll do it for Sports Watch tonight. Ben, back to you.
Thanks, Matthew. Still to come, Emily Davis returns with a final check of the Skywatch forecast. But first, we'll share the story of a little boy and a little dog who share a connection straight from the heart. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
Melania, about the current First Lady in the lead-up to last year's inauguration, appears to have boosted viewership of a film about a predecessor, as the new documentary made the box office top 5 last weekend, Becoming, the 2020 Netflix doc about Michelle Obama, based on her best-selling memoir, had its viewership rise more than 13,000%, according to data provider Luminate. Oscar nominee Rose Byrne stars in Tow as a woman living in her car until it's stolen, and she's thrown into a legal battle against a broken system. Dominic Sessa, Demi Lovato, Corbin Burnson, and Oscar winners Ariana DeBose and Octavia Spencer co-star. Tow, based on a true story, opens in theaters March 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
finally tonight, we head to Philadelphia for a meeting made possible by a medical marvel. Recently, a toddler named Cameron met a dog named Panini. As a newborn, Cameron had a heart block that required a special pacemaker that was put outside his heart. It turns out Panini had the same heart problem, and when his owner read about Cameron's case online, she set out to see if Panini could get the same procedure. 2 months ago, Panini got the pacemaker, and recently, doctors arranged for Cameron to meet him. Now, both Cameron and Panini are thriving. We could be in for some more heartwarming temperatures in the near future. Emily Davis is with us for a final check of the Skywatch forecast.
Temperatures are finally going to be warming back up, but they will start to cool down again as we make it to next Wednesday with some rain and temperatures dipping back down into the 40s and eventually the 30s.
Thanks, Emily. That's all the time we have tonight for Newswatch. For more news and weather, be sure to log on to our website at WEIU.net.
There, you'll find real-time forecasts and the news video of the day.
And if news is happening in your community, let us know by dropping us an email at news@weiu.net. Have a good night.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon. Whatever the occasion, it's an environment for an evening of dining, conversation, and cocktails. Whatever your needs, our staff is ready. Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon, located at the Cross County Mall, Mattoon.